Dave Rubin did this interview. It's not on the sheet. What is this gentleman's name that Dave Rubin interviewed? It's Imam Tawaldi, I think he is. And he's based in Australia. And
That's where all the best imams go.
all the best imams.
Tahidi.
Imam Tahidi. Now, I've tried to read about this guy because it's like he basically tweets out like the most far right, ultra extreme, anti-Muslim, anti-immigrant. Do you have some examples of things he's tweeted?
Yeah.
Give us a flavor of this imam's tweets.
This is just, it's a picture of Tommy Robinson.
Who's a British anti-Muslim fascist guy.
It said, if Tommy Robinson had looked like this, his right to free speech would be protected. And I'm just going to put this in front of Michael's camera.
Okay, it's a Muslim man with a beard.
It's Tommy Robinson photoshopped to be wearing Muslim garb.
That's awesome. All right, so basically, like, what I'm trying to say here though is, as you can even get by that tweet, and maybe we'll have a few others. This isn't like Majid Nawaz, like plausible deniability, sort of like pseudo-intellectual liberalism, counterterrorism talk. This isn't just sort of like the middle brow neocon to neoliberal with some conspiracies sprinkled in that you get from Majid. This is like the most pure, like even the most self-critical, like maybe Ayn Hershey Ali might occasionally say something like this, although she's not as dumb. And she's also like, I'm not a Muslim. Like, I'm done with it. I hate Islam. I'm not into it. There is no person who is going to still wear religious garb and be an imam who is just like, we're just horrible. And any far right, any conspiracy theory, any xenophobia, anything I'm going to endorse on Twitter because ironically, or maybe not that ironically, all of these right-wing idiots that follow me actually are pure credulous essentialists who are not able to discern anything. So let's just get to the clip. It's fine. We can deal with it after. That clip. It's ready. Let's play that clip. So, of course, this guy, zero credibility. So where would you go? You go to the zero credibility zone itself. Dave Rubin.
At least because, in Iraq, we had the same situation. How did ISIS get in? ISIS got into Iraq because certain politicians played the diversity game. Why have borders with Saudi Arabia? Why have a wall? Just let the deserts be open. And then these cars came in from around the world and they took over 40 minutes away from Baghdad. I mean, then politicians, when they're...
Okay, so, and Dave Rubin's just like, sitting there just like, well, like, do you think back when Jesus was around, were the Muslims that he spent time with nicer?
Wait, those working conditions that you're going to build a wall across the Saudi Arabian desert, what are those going to be like?
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. You guys have a lot of spring water, I bet. Yeah, you ready? You got the spring water for the people? So, I mean, I don't even know. I mean, that's just so catastrophically basically, he's talking about ISIS incursions in Iraq in, I think, 2014. Now, there was a pretty strong border between Iraq and its neighbors when Iraq wasn't warring with its neighbors under Saddam Hussein. And the first sort of foreign invasion in the modern era of Iraq that, I guess one way of putting it would be opened up its borders was, of course, the U.S.-UK mass bombardment and invasion and occupation of that country. I mean, this is the type of talking point that I have to, I'm trying to get more amenable to debating and reasoning everything out. But if you think that that's a credible statement, you're almost as dumb as Dave Rubin. Do we have any more tweets from this guy? Okay, so basically, this guy, any cursory, and there's all sorts of questions about his religious credentials and where he comes from. This is the Tommy Robinson. This is the Tommy Robinson tweet. Imam Tawaldi. If Tommy looked like this, his right to free speech would have been protected.
Fuck Tommy Robinson.
Yeah, fuck Tommy Robinson. Any of these other ones? Yeah, you want to? What's the one that says exposed? Yeah, let's see what the exposed. Oh, I don't know what this is. When you call terrorism is what you call terrorism is called God's law in Saudi Arabia and Iran. There's always a special budget for God's law in any Islamic government. So
Islam memes.
Yeah, this is a great grift. It's a great business.
The right does not know how to meme.
This is a great business.
Oh, I saw a funny. What are those? Not the deal with it, but the
Free Tommy Robinson. Okay, so basically, I mean, you know, the question for somebody like this, to be honest, is going to be how far the laundering goes, because Dave Rubin, obviously, like, he has no editorial standards. He's not bright. He's totally credulous. Has Sam Harris embraced this guy yet? That's a question. Like, does it move up the food chain? Does this guy have like a Bill Maher segment where Bill Maher's like, and what I don't understand is the Muslims. The thing is like, that's in some ways the way to watch Dave Rubin is like he swims in the sewage, and then he's sort of like a sewage scout for kind of like the soft alt-right or just sort of general anti-Muslim whatever nonsense and conspiracy theories.
I think Sam Harris might have tweeted about him, but I can't. I'm blocked, so I can't really read it. I'll put it in the sound poll. The tweet that I can read is Sam Harris saying, "This was remarkably honest and refreshing. Why aren't most imams like this?" But I'm not 100% sure.
Well, that's him.
It's him.
He's tweeting. There you go. So Sam Harris is on the grift then, if that's him.
Yeah.
Sam Harris, no, he's not even in on the grift. Sam Harris is in on the delusion. That's how you should look at it. I mean, this is a guy that you hold up as having some type of extraordinary intellect. And, oh my God. That's what he quote tweeted.
That's what Sam Harris thought.
Remarkable honesty.
Refreshing.
All right.
Wow.
I promise future segments on who this Imam for Peace really is.
We thought it was a Sacha Baron Cohen.
We literally,
season 2.
Yeah, I thought it was a Sacha Baron Cohen character too.
Maybe he is. Maybe it's a long con.
Remarkable honesty. Thank you. You confirmed all of my prejudices and complete inability to read history or policy. Thank you.
Why aren't most imams like this?
Why don't most imams hate their own communities and advocate for systemic repression of them? Thank you. It'd be like, it was like finding like that would be like, it'd be like the going to the rabbis that go to like the Holocaust denial conference that Ahmadinejad did, who are just like they either deny the Holocaust or like it should have happened because they weren't following Jewish law, and then you quote tweet them and you're like, thank you. Why can't more rabbis speak like this? The honesty is refreshing. Jesus Christ. And by the way, another button that you have to put on, I realize now in the YouTube world, you need to button things because there's all these various versions of literalist idiots out there. None of this implicates. You can criticize Islam. You can be an ex-Muslim. You can object to religion. You can criticize the policies of Saudi Arabia, Iran, whatever. You have to disaggregate that from being a far right-wing xenophobe who is historically, anthropologically, and politically illiterate. That's the point. It's not terribly complicated. I have the most sympathy in this scene for ex-Muslims who grew up in abusive environments, as many people do in various contexts, but certainly in the context of religious fundamentalism. But I will say, there's a podcast, I believe it's called Difficult Conversations. Is that the name?
Aina, yep.
Aina, who's
Polite Conversations.
Polite Conversations. Aina, she's anonymous. Now, her whole career, I mean, she has a really good podcast. She's got a good amount of Twitter followers. Check her out on Patreon.
A couple like children's books, I think, right?
I think so. My point is,
teenagers, maybe.
She's successful. But she still has to work other jobs to support herself. And it is very specifically because she, and there's actually some areas that I think I disagree with her on certain personalities and certain policies and so on. Although I've always enjoyed the conversation we had, was great. I have a lot of respect for her. The fact that she has not embraced, turned her critique of a community, which is valid, and her personal trauma, which reflects systemic problems that are real, the fact that she has not turned it into a bigoted grift on behalf of the most reactionary forces in U.S. and European society has held her back. And that tells you everything about these people. And I would recommend checking out her podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bar is so low for somebody who's willing to do that kind of scabbery. It's
100%.
Look at Brendan Straka. Not to bring him up again.
Whoa, we talk about that guy way too much, Jamie.
Brandon.
Sorry.
Stop saying Brendan. Dragging my name.
Wait. What
My
is-
bad.
is
Brandon.
Brandon Stroka?
Brendan Strorka.
Perestroika? Do you know what that is, man?
Brendan
I'm sure he's
Troika.
watching.
Does
Does Brandon know what perestroika was?
No, I don't think so.
Perestroika was a partnership between Ronald Reagan and Mikhail Gorbachev to bring Coca-Cola to the Soviet Union. Say it in your next video.
And
The
that took
more
down
you
the wall.
know.
Yeah, that took down the wall. Yeah. It was an operation to bring Blue Jeans, the Velvet Underground, and Coca-Cola to the Soviet Union.